What's happening, guys? So, back with another video. It's been a little bit of a while. Apologies for that. I know that you all have missed me. But, nah, no, I'm joking. Obviously, I've been around here and there, comment on people's videos, things like that. I message people personally anyway on WhatsApp and things, and people have been asking me, you know, where's your videos, etc, etc. And I just haven't had the time. And in actual fact, to be fair, although at one point up until, I say recently, up until at least November to December, I was doing a pickups video basically every single week. I was pretty much getting pickups all the time, and I wasn't just buying for YouTube or anything like that. It was for myself, and that's partially why I haven't released a pickups video recently, because I haven't had any. I've had a new job, I've had Christmas, I've had just normal things to pay out for, you know, my car, anything in my normal life. You know, I've got a 9-year-old, and obviously they just burn your money. So yeah, you know, I've had all of that going on, and yeah, I've been a good boy. I haven't been buying stuff for myself for the sake of it. I just haven't really been buying that much. We're now on January the 2nd, and I do have a plan for a video this week, and that's because I've got stuff in the post, but I also got an absolutely banging deal the other night on a few games, and I can't wait to show you guys, because I didn't quite realise at the time, which is even more makes me excitable about it. But I'm not quite ready to do the pickups video anyway, but also by the time that the stuff arrives is when I'll be able to do it. I want to move a couple of things around in my room first and sort some stuff out. I've been tidying up behind where the camera is now. The camera's at an actual angle, so I've been tidying up over there to hopefully finally come to fruition with this fucking whole room tour video that I keep banging on about. And every time I get frustrated with myself and think, oh no, I need to get it out, I need to get it done, I want to get it done, not I need to get it done, but I want to get it done, I then have another idea for something else. So I've got like a racking to put up as well, and I don't quite know what to put on it, so therefore I don't know, in terms of reinforcing it, so to speak, when I put it up, how much do I need to reinforce putting it up, how heavy are the things going to be that go on it, you know, all that sort of stuff. And obviously once it's up, I don't really want to be moving it around, so there is that. And really that's about it. I've got a few video ideas, this being one of them. Obviously I'll be doing this now. I've got a pickups video, I've got my whole room tour. I'm not quite sure when to do my game room tour. I think what I'll do is that I'll do a very quick overview when I do the whole room tour, but not go as in depth as my previous video. Obviously, if you want to check out my previous actual room tour video, it is way down in my videos, or what I'll do is I'll drop a link below of the actual video itself if you've not seen it. But I have added obviously a lot since then to my actual room, but obviously none of that crap matters now anyway, because that's not what we're even here to talk about. So now that that's all out the way, I hope you had a nice Christmas and New Year and blah 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 blah. Or whack on. No, not that type of video. We'll crack on with my top 10. Now this is in no particular order, by the way, and what I didn't want to do is, I've watched a couple of people's, and nobody's nominated me for this or anything else, but a couple of people have asked me if I'm going to do one, and I was like, yeah, I was actually going to do one anyway, because I saw Geordie's, and then I thought I'm going to do one, and then I didn't realise, because sometimes when people do them, they've been nominated, or they just do them for the sake of doing them. So I've taken the approach of doing it for the sake of doing it, really. So yeah, there's in no particular order, and I'll explain as I go anyway. But essentially, there are some systems that you won't see in this collection, and I'll explain why as I go. So no particular order, because I can't really rank them. For me personally, I couldn't really do that. I sat for a good 5-10 minutes thinking, yeah, but I was like, nah. Here we go. So first of all, we have Resident Evil 4 on the Wii. I've played the PS2 version, I've played the GameCube version. I played the GameCube version when it first came out. Wasn't really fussed with it, and even back then I thought this isn't scary, and to me a Resident Evil game should be not scary, because nothing in terms of film wise really scares me like that. And games can be atmospheric and they can be like unsettling. I did actually play Resident Evil 7 recently, and I completed it, and there are a couple of scenes where, because it's first person especially, it's like, wow, it does make you jump, and it did make me like tingle a little, slightly tingly. But this doesn't do that. The reason why I like this particular version of this game is because I've played this game several times on the Wii and completed it, but this is one of the only games where I've absolutely rinsed everything it has to offer. So I went through trying to get all of the blue discs that are in the game, and I completed it on several different difficulties. I haven't played it for a couple of years, admittedly, but that's because I haven't properly had my Wii out. So the reason why is I can't remember what the game mode is called, but it's where you play as the different characters, and you basically do the survival mode, and you rack up all the points. And you play as Wesker, you play as Leon, Hunk, and the other guy with the massive arm. I can't remember for the life of me what it's called now. But playing as those guys, it's great, absolutely amazing, and just the controllers are very intuitive. Even though I'm a bit like with the Wii remote and stuff, if I can not use them, where when you can use the actual controller that you get with it, then I'd prefer to use that as opposed to the Wii remote and everything. But I think they incorporate it quite well. So, Resident Evil 4 on the Wii. Next one is, I've already mentioned this before in a previous video, so I'll brush over it very quickly. Sonic 2 on the Mega Drive. This is my original copy. It's a major nostalgic connection for me because it was purchased for me by my mum and my grandmother, who sadly passed away several years ago. But it reminds me of her, and it also reminds me of playing one of my favourite ever games at the time. Now, it's very middle of the road, very salted, very basic game that everybody seems to have played or everybody's owned or whatever. There will always be that one controversial person that says, I don't like Sonic, or I hate Sonic. It's not all that. So I have seen those people, but you can't deny that this game, the graphics, the gameplay, everything was like, it was at the peak of the Mega Drive for me. And it's nigh on perfect, really. It does everything that the first one does, but better. The spin dash, all that sort of stuff. Amazing game. Next one is Rayman on the PS1. This is my only PS1 game in this list. Yeah, it is. It was a tough choice, to be fair, and just like Timewarp James, he mentioned honourable mentions, and I was like, ooh, what do you mean honourable mentions? With some of the mentions that he mentioned in his honourable mentions, I was like, ooh, like the pretty good games for his honourable mentions. And for me, it was close between Alien Trilogy, Resident Evil 2, and Crash Bandicoot. But I kind of felt like, although that Crash Bandicoot and Rayman, two completely separate games, two completely different styles, I felt like that everybody that had a PS1, you had at least one of those games. And again, like I say, I didn't want to just go through and just pick all the rarest or the most expensive games on each system or anything like that. I think that's pretty boring. It's not that kind of video. It's your favourite games. It's not the most expensive games you own, whatever. So Rayman on the PS1 is what I picked. And it's because just it's visually stunning. It's quite humorous when you first play it as well. It's not an RPG or anything like that. There's no dialogue in it or anything like that. There's a few bits of writing and subtitles and things, but that's about it. And you gradually power up. And sadly for me, not until I think it was Origins or Legends. I think it's Legends. Sorry, yeah, Legends on the sort of PS3, PS4 era. Does it then kind of go back to that? But for me, Rayman on the PS1. Amazing game. Next one is Robocop vs Terminator. This was also in my other list, my Mega Drive list, and again, it's my original copy. And it has three amazing elements in it: that, and bloody, gory violence. So, what really more do you want from a game? It's not even got any like age certificate or anything on it, which at the time I'm quite surprised, because I don't know, somebody will probably drop it down below. When did grading for games come in? I mean, did they have them on the PC at that point? I swear that they did. Like, you know, this is mature content or something like that. I swear that they did, I don't know. But this had nothing. I mean, to be fair, my mum bought this for me anyway for Christmas. I was either 7 or 8 years old, and it's always been one of my favourite ever games. It's just, yeah, I mean, if you've never played it, go and play it. The difficulty does ramp up slightly. I say slightly quickly, that makes no sense, but quite quickly. And it's not an easy game, but if you stick at it, you can complete it. I've always become very, very close to completing this. I never actually completed it. I'm not one of those people that will put in cheat codes and stuff just to beat a game. But anyway, there we go. Next one, Chucky Egg. And this is just for show, sadly. I don't own Chucky Egg to play, but this here is because it represents one of my earliest memories of gaming. I had it on the Commodore 64, and just the style, just the sound effects, everything of it. It was such a simplistic game. Like it's. I won't want to say it's like a mobile game. Like nowadays, it's like simple but addictive. But at the time, I was the type of person that when I went through it, I would always try and get all the birdseed as well. Even though you didn't get anything for the birdseed, and you didn't need to get the birdseed in order to get the eggs or anything like that to complete the level, I was still that type of person to do that. And Chucky Egg for me, when I get any kind of like an emulator or like a Raspberry Pi or something similar like that, you know, I spoke about NVIDIA Shield in the past, something along those lines, this will be being downloaded immediately to go on it as one of my first games to play. So Chucky Egg is in my top 10. We next have Super Mario AllStars. Now, I'm not necessarily cheating with this. It's because one of my favourite memories of gaming was with this cartridge. And some people say, yeah, compilations, whatever. But for me, Super Mario 3, more points in stats for Super Mario 3. So you can get the Tanuki suit, you can get the raccoon tail, you can get the feather, all of that. And it's one of those games that revolutionised gaming. I mean, obviously the first one's amazing, the first one's really, really good, but the third one is when it really came into it. And obviously I'm not going to get into, I feel like I'm on Slope's Gameroom or something like that. I'm going to start getting into all the history, but as a kid that would be my go-to game on this particular cartridge. It was a toss-up between Super Mario World and Super Mario 3, but it kind of felt like Super Mario 3 came before World. So Super Mario 3. Down to the last 4 now. In fact, how many have we done? We have done 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Batman Arkham Asylum on the PS3. Ooh, look at the cover. The cover. This game, when I first played this game, I could not believe how good it was. I couldn't believe how well they'd gotten it. I've come so far from the days from the days of this to this, which again, honourable mention by the way, is that this game just did everything so well, so well. And then also when you got to play as Joker as well. And I do like the sequels, but they started to ever so slightly go downhill. With everything they tried to do better, it kind of made the game worse. I know that's a very black and white way of saying it, but Arkham Asylum and Arkham City very close together in terms of quality, but Arkham City, I like the fact that this was a bit more confined, that you couldn't go to places, like you were forced in like that. Like Die Hard, for example. Die Hard is better than Die Hard 2. I'm not saying I don't like Die Hard 2, but although it was at an airport, you had the airport, you had the farmhouse on the edge of the airport, you had this, you had that, you know, it was very confined, and that's why I did it extremely well. And then as the sequels went on, obviously they got a bit shitter. I like Die Hard 4, for example, but it's here, there and everywhere. I don't, you know, it's very disconnected to the first one for me. But anyway, that's a completely different video. So, Arkham Asylum on the PS3. Next one, a Game Boy game, Tetris. You cannot deny how amazing this game is. It's very simple, but it's very addictive. I played this recently. I whipped out my Game Boy SP, and I was playing through my Game Boy collection, and this was one of the games I stayed playing longer than other games. I went through and I completed Super Mario Land 2, and this game I went back to old school. I was trying to beat my high score. So Tetris, not really a lot I can say about it other than what's already been said. So I'm not going to go on and on and on because I don't even know how long this video's been going on for. So Tetris on the Game Boy, and the last two, Donkey Kong. I think this is probably the most expensive thing I've got in here, to be fair. Which, like I said, I didn't necessarily set out to do, but I'd picked my top 10 and I wasn't quite happy with it. And with this, I remember playing this as a kid, and then also getting it again when I was a teenager. I got it when I was about 18, 19 off eBay. It's one of my first purchases from eBay. And this game, playing it in the playground when I was a young child, again, like a mobile game, very simple, very addictive, but it's just such a good game. It's literally just Donkey Kong over and over, but you have to be patient with it, otherwise it gets you. But then you kind of get a bit overconfident, and that's exactly what I was like. It hit the nail on the head for me when I was a kid. So Donkey Kong. And the last one is, what is it? Yes, that's right. It is Alex Kidd. The reason why I'm holding this up is because people that have already said it when I had my ear out the first time is because it's built in. So yes, I don't have the physical cartridge, unlike Timewarp James, which I did not know about, and I tip my hat to you, sir, because I know that it's not hard to get hold of, but it's not easy to get hold of cheap. So I've not asked him yet how much he paid for it or how he obtained it, but for me, Alex Kidd, this is the reason why I will never ever get rid of my Master System 2, is I've actually got two Master System 2s, and one of them has Sonic built in and the other one has this. And this is one of the only reasons why as a child my mum kept this console, because she bought me a Master System converter for my Mega Drive, and then would say, oh, you want to play Alex Kidd? And yeah, take out the wires, put them in the back of this, jobs are good. So Alex Kidd, and that's it. But really, guys, I mean, there's other stuff I can talk about and the reason why I like it and dislike it and all that sort of stuff, whatever. But I do have, like I say, another pickups video coming in this week, so probably by the end of the week, really, I'll have had that filmed, hopefully, and got it edited and all that sort of stuff. I'm trying to be a bit more inventive with my editing. As you'll probably notice, you might think it's good, you might think it's shit. But I wanted to do it how I wanted to do it. So that's what I'll say. My thumbnails will be changing, the style will be changing, intros, outros, no more. And the gaudy photo of me on a lot of my thumbnails where I've got my glasses on to the side, doing that weird smile, they are no more. I never liked that photo, it is gone. So there we go. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you're not asleep by now, or if you are, I apologise. But I'll see you in the next one.